What's hiding underneath things can be scary. Underwater, under your bed, especially what's under your carpet. Except when you get new carpet from Carpet One Floor and Home. After tearing up your old carpet, they'll vacuum and apply Health Annex antimicrobial to your subfloor, disinfecting and killing mold, mildew, and any remaining general awfulness. Carpet One Floor and Home goes the extra mile to protect you, your family, and your home. Carpet One Floor and Home in Columbia, making your home beautiful, guaranteed.
Good morning. Welcome to Radio Friends on Tuesday, May the 3rd. Got two friends here today, Connor and Mar Doering. Connor got top billing there, Mar.
Well, you know what? He deserves it. He's the champion of every story.
All Paws Medical and Behavioral at Hold Summit. Good to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much.
Today, you know, we discuss the well-being of our four-legged family members, our cats and dogs, and today you wanted to touch on their ears?
Yes.
Why? Now, this is something going into springtime we need to...
Going into springtime, but sadly, sometimes you'll see this throughout their life. Sometimes it starts at young puppies and it's an inherited trait. Sometimes in the spring it's made a little worse because there's some reasons why dogs would have, and cats too, have some problems with their ears. Their ear, unlike ours, the ear canal that you can't see actually takes like a L turn. So it goes down and then it takes a turn and things can get trapped there, including moisture, and that can lead to problems. When we have all the rains or even snow, and Connor is one of those guys that likes to roll around in the snow, you can get some moisture in the ears and it can get trapped and it can lead to some problems. Plus, in the spring, when the allergies are bad, people don't think about this that often, but the skin goes down into the ear canal. So you can have an allergy, and you can also have that allergy go down into the ear canal. And if you...
Really?
Yes.
So
yes.
If a dog has an allergy, it can be infected in their ears also?
It can get inflamed, and that then can get infected with a bacteria or a fungus or a yeast, and the moisture makes it worse. And eventually what happens, when you look in as a veterinarian with a scope, you will see kind of a cobblestone appearance so that it affects the way the ear, kind of the surface is, and that in itself traps bacteria and moisture and fungus and yeast.
So how do you know? How does a pet mommy or daddy understand and know that there's something wrong with the ear?
And that's a very good question, because that is really the key to everything, is to know your pet and immediately let your veterinarian know. Don't wait. So if you see that all of a sudden they're shaking their head like something's bothering them, or they're scratching, sometimes it's one ear, and that seems funny. Why is it one ear and not the other ear? But that can happen. So if you see them scratching at their ear or pawing at their ear and crying, sometimes you'll see some material coming from the ear. Sometimes it just won't smell well. It'll be kind of a moist, kind of not, almost even smells like there's a garbage can in their ear. Mm-hmm. So any of those things, you want to call your veterinarian. One of the worst things you can do is to reach for a product yourself, or some people will take vinegar and water, or I've heard hydrogen peroxide. The pH in the ear is critical. If you change that pH without knowing what is in the ear and what is happening in the ear, you can affect a change that could be temporary, but it could be permanent and lead to a chronic problem.
So you don't want to try to treat your dog's ear problem yourself.
Yes.
Go to the vet.
Yes.
The vet will be able to look in the ear and
yes.
see what the problem is.
Now, sometimes they have to run some tests. So sometimes we'll take a swab and we'll stain it and look under the microscope. Sometimes we even need to do a culture in the worst cases. But if you reach an ear problem early, then you literally are saving the day, because usually you can use a product, but again, your veterinarian needs to be the one guiding you, because sometimes you'll have a situation, everybody's heard of bacteria that's resistant to antibiotics,
right.
But that can happen in the ear, and you think you're treating them, but you're not treating them with the right product because that bacteria is resistant. The other thing that can happen that you've got to be aware of, and this is kind of a strange thing, But sometimes the dogs are trying to scratch their ear or rub their ear or help themselves, or sometimes you even put ointment in the ear and they'll shake their head. If they overdo this, or when they are shaking their head, they hit, let's say, the wall. So I always tell people to move away from the wall. They can cause a problem where they have injured the ear flap, whether it's an ear that's down or an ear that's up, and it can fill, I hate to say this, it sounds horrible, but it is. It fills with blood. It's called a hematoma.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because there are all these little tiny blood vessels
You're 100%
in the ears of a dog.
Perfect.
And I inadvertently, my dog Sparky used to love to have his ears massaged, and he was a big dog, and he would start crying to have his ears massaged. He'd come up and stick his head in my lap. I was massaging his ears, and I guess the more he liked it, the firmer I would do it. Well, I noticed then the ears started swelling up.
Oh, my goodness.
And I got really concerned. I mean, it happened pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I called his vet, and I said, my dog's ear, Sparky, is all swollen up. She said, you're massaging his ears, aren't you? Because I had told her that. I said, yes. She said, you massaged a little bit too hard. Bring him in. They had to... She diagnosed it on the phone. She knew what it was.
Yeah.
She said, you broke the blood vessels, the little tiny blood vessels in the ear. Brought him in, and she did just that minor surgery and lanced it, then wrapped it up, and he had to wear the Elizabethan collar, the lampshade for a couple of weeks. So I've learned the hard way about that.
Yeah, that one I've never heard, but that could happen. So
it did happen. Yes.
You have to be very careful with these ears. And even if you think, okay, I see ear cleaning material at the store, do not get anything without the advice of your veterinarian.
Right.
I don't want to be self-serving since I am a veterinarian and say that, but I'm telling you, for the sake of your dog, you want to make sure if you over-clean, you can cause a bigger problem than if you don't clean at all. So if you see something coming out of your pet's ear, go to the vet. Don't just clean it.
Yeah, call the vet and explain it to it. And my vet, Dr. Marshall, I'll tell you, she diagnosed it right on the phone. I was so impressed by that.
Oh, yeah.
You're massaging just a little bit too hard there on that ear.
Definitely not her first rodeo.
Yeah, but if you want more information, you can give Mar a call. A wonderful lady. Thank you so much, Mar.
Thank you.
Your phone number, All Paws Medical and Behavioral Center, is?
573-896-4040, and we'd love to hear from you.
And you know she loves dogs and cats.
I sure do.
Connor there, who was a rescue dog, right?
Yes, he's my buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
And if you got any questions or something you would like to hear or see, I'd love to hear from you. Just drop me an email. That's pepperp@missouri.edu, and go out and about and take your doggie for a walk. All right? See you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. That was wonderful.